The Board of Education reconvened into open session at 7 o'clock p.m. A roll call, please.
Humberto Rojo. Moreno Valley High School School Board Representative.
Kerry Bob present.
CJ Johnson present.
Jesus Holguin present.
Susan Smith present.
Martin Rex Kedziora present.
Robert Verdi present.
Tina Dagnall present.
Maribel Maddox present.
Thank you. We would like to open with the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be led by Humberto Rojo from Moreno Valley High School.
May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the inspiration. In the words of J.K. Rowling, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is the dates of future board meetings. Our next meeting will be October 16th. This is a special meeting to hold interviews for board member for trustee vacancy in Area 5. So we will be doing that next week, October 16th, this very same place, but we will be starting at 5 o'clock. It will be held in the boardroom, special meeting, October 23rd, closed session at 5 o'clock, open session at 7 o'clock, a regular board meeting. No. Did we do that yet?
No.
I didn't come to it yet.
I think, it's before. It's the page before.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's finish the board meetings first. All right, then we will meet November 13th, closed session 5, open session 7, regular meeting right here. And December 11th will be a closed session at 5, open session at 7. That will be our organizational regular meeting. Also, to report out of closed session, in closed session we discussed student discipline cases, public employee employment appointment, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, and non-reelects, conference with labor negotiator, conference with legal counsel existing litigation, conference with legal counsel about anticipated litigation, and conference with real property negotiator. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Holguin, for bringing it to my attention that I skipped that little part. Quick summary, abstract. Superintendent report. Dr. Kedziora, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Board of Education meeting, and especially the students tonight. This is the first time you've been here. Some of you have been here before, but in this capacity. Well, some have been here before, but they hadn't been here this year. So let me clarify this, and welcome to all of you. And you can smile, it's not that bad, and try to have a good time when you give your reports, and people do want to hear what you have to say, so know that. So we're very proud of our district and what happens in it each week, and since the last board meeting. And our test scores came out in our school district, and we're very proud that in each area of English language arts and mathematics that our test scores increased 1.2%. If you looked at test scores across the state, you'd see that sometimes they didn't increase or they stayed the same. So we're very proud of the increase. But there were many schools in our district. We have a superintendent's objectives, and many schools that had a 5% positive change in English language arts and a 5% positive change in math. Now, I want you to know that anything above 3% is really statistically significant. And I want you to look at those ones in green. Butterfield Elementary School, 15%. Midland Elementary School, 12%. Towngate Elementary School, 16%. Bear Valley in mathematics, 14%. And Towngate Elementary School, 10%. All of them, collectively did a wonderful job. You see many increases across the district, but those schools deserve a round of applause because to get students to take the CASP and to take it seriously and to make increases on it is very important. I'm sure when you students all took it, you were excited about it, did your best, and when you got your scores back, you were proud of them. And so we're very proud of those scores. One of the things that we're trying to do in our district is have STEAM at every school in the district, and different schools send different examples about how they do this. At Hendrick Ranch Elementary, they do 30-minute STEAM lessons in TK through 3rd grade, and 4th and 5th grade they do Lego. We do 2.0 robots, and that's from Marie White, the principal there. And the professional development specialists help with this, and Dr. Buster, who's the director of professional development and digital learning, is here tonight. Would you wave to everybody? And then we started something last week. Dr. Lynn Sheffield, who's the director of student services, would you wave at everyone? She began something that we haven't ever done in Moreno Valley, but we began a Saturday program, Saturday School, that's done at every site in the district, because we wanted something that was done at every school, elementary, middle, and high school. And last Saturday, there were 1,444 students at 32 school sites. That's not every school, but it's every school that is a middle, elementary, or high school. The alternative schools didn't all have this, and Vista Heights, Mr. Hassan is back there. You didn't have it this time, but you're going to have it next time. Thank you. So Canyon Springs High School, Mrs. Kerr is the principal. Thank you for getting 165 high school students to come to Saturday school, STEAM school. Aren't you proud of yourself? Yeah. Butterfield Elementary School had 85 students. That's big for an elementary school. And Landmark Middle School had 51 students, and March Mountain had 27 students. So they did the first Saturday school, and the next one is on November the 3rd. And Miss Dr. Sheffield, you're looking for even bigger numbers than this, right? And this is an attendance recovery Saturday school, but it's also to increase exposure to students in in STEAM areas, and that's the emphasis. So that's very exciting that we're able to offer this. And Rafael Garcia, I think, helps you with this, Dr. Sheffield. So these are some pictures from the Saturday STEAM Academy this last Saturday, and we heard a lot of positive things about it, so thank you everyone for doing that. At Serrano Elementary School, they had an author come to their parents, and Gustavo Valenzuela, author of Vision Book Dreaming and Living a Meaningful Life. And so we're very proud of that partnership that they have at their school. And then this was a partnership between digital learning and assessment and accountability. But 100 families, they provided hotspots with 30 gigabytes of data each month for a 2-year period. And you see them here in the boardroom, and that was given to families through a grant that was received. And so getting more access to internet in our community. And we're very proud of that since we have all the Chromebooks out there. And then Mrs. Hunter is out there. I thought I saw her. Would you wave your hand? She was very instrumental in developing a college kickoff day in the district, October the 3rd, and had things all over the district. And I went to Northridge and Valley View, and I mean, many people went to different schools, but there were a lot of wonderful things that happened that day. And then Edgemont Elementary School, we're very proud. They attended a STEP conference, 39 students attended it. And this is, we haven't had students participate in this before, but we're very proud they were there. There were a lot of students from all over the Inland Empire there. And then Canyon Springs High School, one of the things that is happening there, that not only did they have a new athletic complex, they have new band uniforms, right, Mrs. Carr? And the students wear them proudly, and it's added to the culture of the school and makes the students even perform. I mean, if you've never heard the band there, you need to go hear them on at a football game. So this past Saturday, they hosted the Cougar Fest Field Tournament, and it was a total of 10 schools from the Inland Empire participated. And I see Mr. Swanson out there, and I'm sure you're very proud that your band plays second place Division 1A. Are you proud of that? Okay. And Valley View High School, Mrs. Johnson is out there, and she's wearing red because that's the school colors, as second place Division 3A. And I know you're very proud of that, aren't you, Miss Johnson? So our bands, they get better and better, and our own local competitions, that wasn't always possible at Canyon Springs, but what a wonderful weekend they had there. And thank you, Mrs. Kerr, and your team for helping make that happen. And then Mrs. Hunter is the Director of College and Career Readiness, and one of the things that I've asked her to do is highlight different programs. And I think Mrs. Brown is out there, the principal of Moreno Valley High School, and you have a contemporary digital media program at your school, right? Yeah, and these are students in that contemporary digital media program working on displays in each of their classes. And sometimes people say we don't have certain things anymore, like wood shop. We don't have wood shop, but we have things like this that prepare students for careers, and I'll be showing you one of those each week. And I want to thank Mrs. Hunter for providing this to us. Thank you, Ms. Hunter. And then another thing Ms. Hunter did in College and Career Ready was she had all seniors submit their GPAs in order to determine who may qualify for Cal grants, bringing students one step closer to college. And this is something that hasn't been done before. And so it's a huge effort. And Ms. Hunter, you can wave your hand. I want to thank you for that. And if you're interested in any of this, that's why I show these people. You can go see them and talk to them. People don't always know, but we have sports at the middle schools now. This was in our LCAP, and that was cut before the LCAP, and we added it. It was hosted by Inland Circle Sports, and the finals are scheduled at Landmark Middle School on Sunday, October 14th. This is this Sunday at 11 a.m., and it's Palm Middle versus Sunnymead Middle. And I'm going to be there because people have personally invited me to be at this tournament. But last weekend, I see Mr. Hassan out there. Vista Heights participated in this in the East Division. Palm was first place, Mountain View was second place, Landmark was third place. And the West Division, Sunnymead, I see Mr. Ochoa just walked in, the principal of Sunnymead Middle. He was first place, or your team was. Aren't you proud of them? Yeah. And Vista Heights Middle School was second place, and Badger Springs was third place. So we have brought middle school sports back, and so students aren't participating in these. Please talk to one of your principal, or Esperanza Arce, who's the director of secondary education. You want to wave your hand? Because she knows all about this and works with the athletic directors. Valley View, where Mrs. Johnson is the principal, had an exceptional ribbon cutting where we opened a new football stadium there. And so I'd like to show you this video because it will you'll get to see what it looks like there now with this new red turf that they have and their new track.
You're here today to represent the opening of our brand new football stadium. We are really, really excited about this moment. We have waited a while for this to happen, and we're just excited and exuberated about this particular time. I think our kids are just overwhelmed by all of these things and been looking forward to getting on our field and playing our first game, our homecoming game on our field.
I really think it shows, like, an experience, shows a lot of school spirit with our school, and it also brings a lot of uniqueness to it because a lot of people don't have a red field. I think it's a cool addition to our campus because it really expresses our school spirit that we have here at Valley View, and I think it's just a unique addition.
He was there?
Yeah. No, he wasn't there.
Oh. So that was Valley View High School. Have you been to a football game there yet?
Yes.
Yeah, and you can really see the ball and everything. You know, you think you're blinded by the red, but, you know, Mr. Johnson, did you see him catch that out there? So he's living proof that he's back here and he caught it that day. So we're very proud of Dr. Buster, who's here tonight, and her team. They they applied for a grant called the Teacher Residency Capacity Grant. This is a planning grant, and they were awarded $50,000, which leads to millions of dollars because this year is a planning grant. And it's a program to develop special education STEAM and English learner teachers, and she worked with Dr. Lynn Larson at Brandon University to complete this grant. So congratulations. They were just notified today that they were awarded this planning grant, so congratulations. And then in professional development, where Dr. Buster is the Director of Professional Development and Digital Learning, I don't know if you know, when we got the Chromebooks, that Dale became very interested in our district, and one of the things we're proud of is we're the first in the nation to earn the prestigious title of Dale Certified Instructional Mentor, which was done through professional development. And the only team in the United States to have earned accolades in a one-year training. And they're going to do a national spotlight video here, and it's going to be filmed to highlight the one-to-one presentation of Chromebooks. And the video will highlight how teaching and learning has changed as a result of becoming more digital. And it's going to be videoed at Vista del Lago High School. Mr. Swanson, you're probably aware of that. And Butterfield Elementary School on October 17th, and it's a spotlight video, and they're coming from Dale to do that here, and they're recognizing the successful implementation of Chromebooks and the use of them by professional development with professional development. So thank you, Dr. Buster. And then, I don't know if Lisa Brimfield's here tonight, but we started but Mrs. Brown is, and she had her first equity walk with her team last week on the 25th of September. And she got a report from that, right, Mrs. Brown? And she had a lot of people at her school. And the next equity walk is going to be on Tuesday, October 30th at Sunnymead Middle School. And then cohort 2 begins at Valley View High School on October the 10th. And then we're very happy at the last study session, the board approved some buildings and some changes in our high schools. You know, when we decided not to build high school number 5, we decided we wanted equity in our high schools. And so one of the things you're going to see changing is schools like Canyon Springs High School. Ms. Kerr is the principal there. And these are, the first phase is going to start in the summer of 2019. And you just got through with that athletic complex, and now you're going to have more construction again. But you're excited about it. You know how to do it now. So you're going to receive a 2-story building, additional 8 science classrooms and 16 standard classrooms, and then the modernization of administration and a library to start construction 2020. And the modernization of science rooms. And one thing that Canyon Springs lacks right now is a multi-purpose room. And that's going to start in the summer of 2021. So you're very excited about that, aren't you? Yeah. We are too. I think it's great. And Tina Dagnall is the chief business official and leads that with facilities. And it's an exciting project. One of the things that the board has authorized us to do is work on Marino Elementary School, the replacement of it. Some people ask why this school, and the reason is because we need a bigger school in that area. That's where a lot of new homes are being built, and we need more. That school doesn't serve enough students. It can only serve like 400 to 500, and we need an elementary school that can serve 800 students. So Ms. Dagnall and her team are in negotiations for 11 to 12 acres in an area near there at Bay and Nason. Is that right, Ms.? In that area, yeah. So you can be looking for that. And then this is Moreno Valley High School, and we talked about this before. This is a performing arts center because Mrs. Brown is opening a school of the arts and innovation there, right, Miss Brown? And she's excited to have that. It's a 625-house seating stage with orchestra area, scene shop, drama, and lobby art and gallery. And it's estimated to be completed in December of 2020. Isn't that exciting? And then they were concerned about the parking. You know, we tried to do different things to get parking improved for Canyon Springs High School Stadium and Vista Heights Middle School. And you're going to see this new parking lot that's coming about, 125 spaces that are available to use between both schools. So you'll see improved parking there. And, you know, I got a ticket the other day for parking in a legal space. And I know that they're working on that. And I thought, I can't believe this, but if I get one, anybody can get a ticket, you know. And then the officer said, I didn't know it was your car. I thought, well, it says superintendent on the license plate. But anyway, so we're very proud, and Mr. Swanson is too, of a program that we added through our LCAP we didn't have ROTC at all of our high schools, and the other 3 high schools have Air Force ROTC, but Vista del Lago High School, where Mr. Swanson is the principal, has a new brand of ROTC, and it's Marine Corps ROTC, right, Mr. Swanson? And how many students are enrolled in that program? 91. New program, just started this year. 91 people already enrolled in that program. That's excellent. And look at this. They have this new target range there. Now, y'all, it's for them to use, not for anybody to use. So I just want you to know that. People ask that. It's for the ROTC to use under supervision. And so we're very proud of that. I don't think so, Miss Smith. I wouldn't even say that. It's an error, you know. They use targets and things, and it looks like they hit things and stuff. We're very proud of a new partnership with I'm not going to say this right. Hyundai. How do you say it? Hyundai of Moreno Valley. Mr. Brown came and met with us, and he said $100 per car every time a car is sold there. If they ask what school they go to, they're going to donate to a school. They're going to do teacher appreciation luncheons, student appreciation luncheons, sponsorships, and 10% off parts and services. So we'd like to welcome them to our community, but also welcome them to our school district in providing different things for us. Our board and our district present at different conferences. This was the CUBE conference, September 26th and 27th, and we were selected to present to schools all over the nation, moving from tolerance and diversity to transformation for equity, which involved Mr. Holguin, Mr. Johnson, Ms. Broomfield, and myself. And it was well received, and very proud of them at this presentation. This weekend, there was the California Latino School Boards Association, and Mr. Johnson and Mr. Holguin attended there, as well as Martha Cepeda Medina, and they did a presentation on advancing equity, building success, and that was well attended and received. And then Mrs. Maddox, raise your hand or wave. She's the Chief Academic Officer. And Lilia Villa, who is the Director of English Learners, they presented in Atlanta at the Hispanic Colleges and University Conference, creating a college-going program through partnership. And you have to be asked to do these things or selected. So it isn't like, that we just send them in and we get chosen for everything. It's because something's happening here that people want to know about. Very proud of that. So at the Models of thank you. The Models of Academic Excellence next week at Riverside County Office of Education, there are 3 programs in our district that are going to be recognized. Now, I want you to know that a school district can apply for 3, and normally in most districts they choose 1. Well, in Moreno Valley they chose all 3 of them, and that's a testament to the people that work in these programs. But the Building Assets Reducing Risk program is a large contributor to our increase in graduation rates by working with 9th graders, and that program is at Moreno Valley High School, Vista del Lago High School, and Valley View High School. And then the Cyber Patriot program, which was begun in Moreno Valley, which is at Canyon Springs High School and Valley View High School. And then our PBIS program, which is at all schools in the district, where 29 schools are going to receive awards from the California Department of Education. So we're very proud of those 3 programs and what they contribute to our community and our district. And then Mr. Scott, I think, is in here, the Director of Safety and Security. Is he here tonight? Yeah, back there. Come on over here and let us see you a little bit. He's going to have the great California Shakeout. He's not going to do it himself, but all of California is going to participate in this on October 18th, right, Mr. Scott? And it's going to be at 10:18 a.m., and the district's going to be participating in this, so do not come to the district during this time, or you're going to be put in an earthquake drill. So we're looking forward to that. We did it last year. It was very successful, and Mr. Scott is preparing everybody for that. We have some football games left, and we hope that you'll attend this one. This is the last one of the year that's a community football game, and we had a lot of people present at the last one. This is Friday, October 26th. It's Moreno Valley High School versus Vista del Lago High School at Moreno Valley High School. And if you show your badge, your security badge like this that everybody's supposed to wear, you'll get in for free, and maybe you can bring a friend, and they'll let them in. But hopefully you'll all come and you'll be there. I'll see you in the stands there. I'll be there. And then Hispanic Heritage Month is this month from September 15th through October 15th, and every school is doing many things. This is a feature from Canyon Springs High School that was submitted to us, and Mrs. Kerr, thank you for getting that to us. But would you please show that video of what this is what a student contributed at Canyon Springs High School. Do y'all have the video or? Thank you, Mrs. Carr, for having that student send that to us. And there are many celebrations like that happening. Thank you. All over our community for Hispanic Heritage Month. And we're very proud of what our schools do. And it takes a lot of planning. And so you can look on the website and see if what schools are having at different places. I'm going to end tonight by this video called What If? And it's a couple of minutes. But I wanted you to reflect on this because in our school district, if we work together and we all support each other, we could be so much better than we are right now. And that's what this video is about. And it's reflective language, but I wanted to share this with everyone because I think it's very important for us to think through how important it is, our goal of being collaborative and our goal of working together and supporting each other.
Thank you. We will now turn it over to Humberto Rojo for school reports.
May we please have Bayside Community Day Schools report?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Kiziora, and community of Moreno Valley. I am pleased to announce all of the Tide and Pride activities from Bayside Community Day School. Bayside hosted its first of 4 blood drives on September 5th with live stream blood bank. Our ASB students acted as runners, canteen helpers, and handholders throughout the day, and we surpassed our goal of 20 pints of blood. Bayside students are regulars in the Dr. Phil audience, and our first trip of the year was on September 12th. The show provides the bus, and we provide professionally dressed students who exceed the behavior and dress code standards of the show. We not only get to see relevant topics of discussion, but we also get a chance to see what it takes behind the scenes to put a TV show together. Our first edition of the Bayside Titan Times was released last week with pictures and articles of activities happening at the school. The newsletter can be found on our school website. Our senior workshops are in full swing. Once a week, every senior meets in their cohort group with our counselor, Ms. Taylor. We have seniors completing their graduation requirements throughout the year, and every senior must complete their FAFSA, college registration, resume, and 2 letters of recommendation before they are cleared for graduation. We already have 5 students graduate this school year. Bayside started college kickoff week with every 3rd period class being given a college out of the area to research to get an idea of the many different colleges and majors that are available throughout the United States. The classrooms were decorated with pennants, mascots, and posters, and gave the students an idea of what each college has to offer. Our ASB pairs with Friday Night Live to give us our Red Ribbon Week activities. We usually have a guest speaker from Friday Night Live during our Spirit Week, which also includes dress-up days such as Disney Day, Twin Day, and of course Halloween. The Red Ribbon Week theme this year is Life is a Journey, Travel Drug-Free. Our final activity will open Term 2 on October 15. We like to start every new term by bringing our students into the gym first period to welcome the returning and new students of Bayside. We feel it is important to reflect on our PBIS goals and remind students of PRIDE, which stands for Passion for Learning, Respect for Self-Others, and Integrity in All Things, and dedication to growth and maintaining all of these qualities will help you achieve excellence. We will also be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month during the assembly with a dance choreographed and performed by some of our Bayside students. They have been practicing every day during lunch, and we can't wait to see their performance. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
Thank you.
May we please have Canyon Springs High School's report?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Kenziora, Cabinet, and community of Moreno Valley. I am pleased to announce all the fantastic activities that have occurred at Canyon Springs since the school year began. It has been a busy start of the school year, so I will give you all the highlights. We started our year with an assembly in our brand new stadium and class time dedicated to MTSS, where we talked about our Cougar core values of responsibility, integrity, and grit. The following week, we had the grand opening of the stadium with our first real home football game. The day started with the community carnival and Pop Warner football games and ended with an on-field recognitions, jersey retirements, the football game, and fireworks. We would like to thank all the board members, cabinet members, and district staff who came out to help us celebrate this momentous occasion 3 decades in the making. This past weekend, our Cougar Canyon Regiment was finally able to host their first Cougar Fest at Canyon Springs after 20 years. They debuted their new uniforms at our last home football game, where they also hosted a middle school band night, performing with Vista Heights and Palm Middle Schools at halftime. Another first for our stadium is the first touchdown scored. This honor goes to Seth Spencer. ASB has been very busy within the last month. We've held our There's No Place Like Home homecoming assembly, halftime, and dance. Lunchtime Club Rush, which had 35 clubs and teams participating and interacting with the student body, and an academic recognition event for second semester's grades. This is in addition to showing our Cougar pride under the shining stadium lights of each home game. Back to School Night had a different look this year. Rather than going from class to class, parents had the opportunity to select conference-style sessions to attend. These sessions were hosted by academies, programs, departments, and teachers. Parents also had a chance to speak with department representatives in the gym. Band, choir, and theater performed in the quad, where there were parent and student groups represented as well. Canyon Springs started college kickoff a week early this year. Our Avid classes put together a college fair for 9th and 10th grade students to attend, and some of the boards are currently on display in our front office. Our counselors hosted the college campout for juniors and seniors. There were college-themed games and a college fair. There were community colleges, UCs, CSUs, private colleges, military options, and trade schools for our students to talk to school representatives and get valuable information for their options after high school. As you saw through the video, last Friday the World Languages Department hosted our first Hispanic Heritage Expo. Spanish classes created and presented projects to students and staff who were visiting the gym throughout the day. There were performances from individual students and Baile Folclórico and a video which highlighted staff and students and their Hispanic heritage. We're looking forward to making this a tradition. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
What's your name?
Anthony Castro.
And the young lady who spoke from Bayside. So make sure when you come up, you introduce yourself so that we can know what your names are. So congratulations, a good report.
Thank you.
May we please have the March Mountain, March Valley report?
Hello, my name is Giancarlo Escobar Navarrete. I'm going to be doing the March Mountain, March Valley report. So March Mountain, March Valley this year started with much excitement. We have our new principal, Mr. Quintero, which is standing over there. And we have new teachers for biology, social science, and special ed and English. Also, the Strive program is on our campus, which is a great addition to our school. We currently have a maximum of 10 students who are transitioning from a non-public school back to public school. Some events have occurred during August and September, which include our initial fall picture day, back to school night, character building assembly, and the beginning of our softball team, which our girls are undefeated at the moment. Also, we participated in Suicide Prevention Week with lunch activities that our peer leadership class did, and National Character Building Day hosted by our counseling team. Some new programs that we are excited about this school year include, we have a new weekly attendance awards for both individual students and whole classes, Dress to Impress Thursdays, and a mentoring program by Sigma Beta Psi, and a STEAM Academy. Some events for this upcoming month that this week we'll be participating in College Week, where we had an assembly, lunch activities, and the fast food workshop coordinated through the counseling department. Tomorrow, the whole school will be taking the PSCTs and SATs. This Friday, we'll be having the mock elections that other schools around the state will be joining us. On October 18, we'll host the ELAC meetings beginning at 5:30 p.m., which we would like to invite anyone who wants to go. We would also like to invite you to our 3rd annual Family Movie Night, where we will be screening Disney's Coco on Friday, October 26th. We will include fun activities and interactive activities that will highlight the importance of literacy, math, and STEAM. And that same day, that I didn't get to put it on here, but we'll have a haunted house that I will personally make. And if you guys come, I'll give extra love to you guys. So yeah. Thank you.
So what time is that?
It will start at 5, I think. It's not on here. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
May we please have the Valley View High School report?
5:30.
Good evening, Moreno Valley Unified School Board members, Dr. Kenziora, Cabinet, and the community of Moreno Valley. My name is Mia Nicholas, and I will be serving as the Valley View High School School Board Representative this year. On the first day of school, we held our first day of school concepts at Valley View High School. Our Eagles were welcomed with warm smiles from staff, administration, and a first day of school pep rally. We also had breakout sessions which made the students aware of the expectations of high school and school culture. Then, on August 24th, we had Club Rush during both student lunches. 32 clubs participated in recruiting and encouraging students to get involved within our campus. There was a buzz in the air during this excitement, and you can sense the excitement as students learned about all the different clubs, sports, and programs that Valley View has to offer. There are over 60 clubs presently at Valley View High School. Back to School Night in conjunction with Senior Parent Info Night was held on September 12th. We had over 800 parents attend this very successful event. We also had our very first Principals Council of the year. 68 students attended representing their second period to review important topics such as the P21 visit, WASC, and upcoming events. Students were able to talk to Principal Johnson about any concerns and ideas. On Friday, September 28th, we recognized over 600 students at Eagle Idol. Eagles were honored for their achievements for their second semester of last year. Students were recognized with a grade point average of 3.0 or higher, perfect attendance, passed an AP exam, AP scholars who passed 3 or more AP exams, National History Day winners, solar program participants, and the band students who traveled with various core groups over the summer. We are very proud of our Eagles for their numerous accomplishments. On Wednesday, October 3rd, the Eagles held our ribbon cutting and homecoming celebration. We would like to thank the school board, superintendent, and the district for their support. Unfortunately, we lost to Riverside Notre Dame Titans 32-36. The Eagles played a well-fought game, and we had a wonderful time at our homecoming football game with a horse and carriage and fireworks. We are very proud of our new field. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May we please have the Vista Del Lago High School report?
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Kitsiora, teachers, parents, students, and community. I am Aubrey Johnson, ASB Vice President, representing Vista Del Lago High School, and I am here tonight to bring you exciting news from our campus. As we continue to progress this school year, we remain focused on developing our Raven values of respect, achieve, value, engage, never give up, and succeed, as well as our school motto to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and take care of the school. Vista Del Lago had the pleasure of hosting Dr. White and Dr. Kidziora on August 31st. They came to visit new additions on our campus. They checked out our new Marine JROTC and the manufacturing program. They also visited our newly refinished gym floors that look absolutely amazing. We also had our back to school night that same evening, which was a huge success with many families visiting in show of support for our Ravens. On September 12th, Vista Del Lago had the pleasure of hosting Dr. Kedziora, Mr. Holguin, and Mr. Ted Cooper from the Riverside Community College District Board of Directors to visit our new exciting and existing programs. In addition, Gunnery Sergeant Butts and Mr. Albee presented the board study session on September 18th to highlight their programs. Thank you, Dr. Kedziora, Cabinet, and the Board of Education for all of our new additions and upgrades to our campus. Our staff is very active in creating a positive culture for all staff and students at Vista Del Lago. Staff is split into 2 teams, purple and silver. The purple team is led by Mr. Swanson, Mrs. Freeman, and the silver team is led by Mr. Munoz and Mrs. Garcia. The 2 teams compete against each other by participating in lunchtime activities, College Day Wednesdays, and Spirit Day Fridays. The winning team will have a special lunch at the end of the year with the senior class. At this point in time, the purple team is ahead. Go purple. Our wonderful advanced placement teachers have invested in a new program, Albert I.O., based on data to further support our AP students in addition to SHMOOP. Our AVID program has also invested in a new SAT prep program called Horizon Education. Our Health Academy teachers have been very busy writing a new grant to possibly expand our health program. Within this grant, a new medical building with classrooms and simulation labs would be added to Vista del Lago. And in a future community health clinic would be added to the lower floor of the facility, affording the opportunity for health academy students to work with local medical professionals and benefiting our community. Vista del Lago's campus has been very busy on the weekends as well. This past Saturday, October 6th, we had our first STEAM Saturday school, which was a huge success. We also hosted a fundraising event to support Moreno Valley Morning Optimist and Sir Optimist Club called Quartermania. Over 30 of our students volunteered their time to ensure this event was a success. ASB has also been very busy planning for our homecoming event scheduled for this month. Saturday, October 13th is our homecoming carnival / dance, and October 19th is our homecoming game against A.B. Miller. We're also hosting the National Caltern Conference this Thursday and Friday, which we are very excited about as well. Now on to sports. This week is a big week for our Lady Ravens volleyball team, who are fighting for a playoff berth. Football has a Thursday night away game against Rubidoux. Also, our Lady Ravens tennis team is home on Wednesday and Friday and are looking to wrap up another league championship. They have a 2-game lead over rival Rubidoux with only 2 games left. Girls golf has important matches as well this week. Our Lady Raven golfers beat Rancho Verde last week to take over first place in the Inland League. Our Lady Raven golfers beat Rancho Verde last week to take over the first place in the Inland League. They will face Paris. They will face Paris and Canyon Springs this week. Cross country has also their second cluster meet this week, and they are looking for another strong performance from both the boys and girls teams as they are performing for a playoff appearance. This concludes my report for this evening. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
I will now be giving the Moreno Valley High School report. Good evening, school board members, Dr. Katsura, cabinet, and the community of Moreno Valley. I am Humberto Rojo, the ASB president at Moreno Valley High School. I'm here to share that we are off to a successful and exciting school year, and we are working steadily to meet our LCAP goals and expectations. Under Goal 1 concerning student achievement, we are working diligently to ensure our students are given support to meet their expected growth rates. We finished our first round of interim assessment blocks last week with our math portion and will begin the English portion this week. We are also now offering students STEAM Academy Saturday School opportunities, where they can come in and experience new programs, receive tutoring, and make up attendance. We had 175 students in attendance of our first session. On Saturday, October 6th, we had 250 students take the SAT. Additionally, this Wednesday, all of our 10th and 11th graders will be taking the pre-SAT exam, and all of our seniors will be taking the SAT exam. During this time, our 9th grade students will be participating in activities that highlight college and careers with our bar team. Under Goal 2 concerning student graduation rates and college and career readiness, on October 3rd, our counseling team visited senior English classes to assist all students in applying for Moreno Valley College. We are also proud to have the highest number of students in dual enrollment, with 85 students enrolled currently. Additionally, our school recently participated in the Partnership for 21st Century Learning walkthroughs. We would like to say thank you to the district officials, community members, and parents for supporting us during the visit. We are hoping to hear some good news from the committee soon. We have a new CTE program, digital media, and I would like to present you each with the sticker that our students made of our new school logo. Under Goal 3 concerning a supportive learning environment, in September we had our first student council meeting with representatives from each of our third period classes to create more transparency in school happenings and decisions. We also hosted our first equity walk, where they found that our campus is excelling in creating a respectful, warm, and welcoming environment. More importantly, they noted that 90% of our students were actively engaged in learning during their observations. Our boys water polo and football are undefeated in league. Our chess club hosted the first ever chess tournament in the district on October 6th. We have 43 clubs on campus this year so that all students can be involved. Our Spanish club is hosting Hispanic Heritage Month activities, and on October 31st, Interact Club will be hosting a trunk or treat event for kids in the community, and choir will have a haunted house. Saturday, we had the most attended homecoming dance in our school's history, with over 400 students in attendance, and we will be playing Pacific this Friday for our homecoming game. We hope to see you all there. This concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much for your report. I love the way you tied your report to goals. That was really nice. Thank you.
Madam President, I have a question for the young man from Bayside. Would you come up here and answer my question? Yeah. March Mountain. And just, here's my question.
You're
You
making them
represent an alternative school.
Yes.
What do you like best about your alternative school?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a good question. I feel like my school is a good opportunity for me to fix the problem. Like, I went to Vista del Lago, and honestly, I wasn't the best student. Like, these students are example students. I wouldn't have been here if I didn't go to March Mountain. March Mountain gave me an opportunity to get ahead and to actually, like, see a future. I probably would have been a dropout if I didn't go to March Mountain. I learned so much from there because the classes are smaller. I think we have up to like 24 students per class, and like that's what it usually should be. So it gives the opportunity for the teachers to like actually get one-on-one time with the students.
Thank you. Great answer. Let's have a round of applause.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that question. One of our goals is to provide education for all of our students in Moreno Valley Unified, and sometimes that's not achieved at the comprehensive high school. So this gives the students another opportunity to be successful. So thank you for pointing out those advantages. Next up, we have recognitions. Yes. First, we have the resolution for the Fall Digital Citizenship Week. Fall Digital Citizenship Week, October 15th to 19th, 2018 resolution. We need a motion for this resolution.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for the vote.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. We will now move down. Can I say downstairs? We do have two stairs here. Downstairs to present this resolution and also to have some recognitions. Thank you. Now it's too low. Okay, that was not good. The seat was too high and now it's too low. Coming. That's okay. I can do it.
You sure?
Yeah. Would you raise my seat back up?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Should have just kept it up. But I couldn't reach the floor.
Let's see if I can get up. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you. We try to provide a little humor with our board meetings just to keep you entertained and keep it going. So I'd like Dr. Sue Buster, Director of Professional Development and Digital Learning, to please join me at the podium. Thank you. Each act of cyberbullying hurts students, disrupts classrooms, and affects school culture and community. We must respond in the age of digital communication to ensure that all students in our district have an understanding of technology, regardless of socioeconomic status, physical ability, language, race, gender, or any other characteristic. We must guide our students to understand that what they post online has an impact. We must guide our students to be digital citizens who think critically about what they read and see online, and make smart choices by evaluating the benefits and risks of sharing information. Through the Professional Development and Digital Learning Department, Our district will participate in the Fall Digital Citizenship Week by providing resources and activities to promote the importance of online privacy, online literacy, anti-bullying, and positive digital leadership. All of us at Moreno Valley Unified School District join in a unified national voice for digital inclusion by proclaiming October 15th to 19th Fall Digital Citizenship Week, and we call on all parents in the community to support our efforts. And in that regard, we'd like to present this certificate to you. Thank you. Yes, you're on.
I'm honored to accept this resolution on behalf of the Professional Development and Digital Learning Department and for our district. Access and equity has long been a focus here for Moreno Valley Unified. All stakeholders have expressed a desire to ensure that our MVUSD students have access to the same tools as anyone else in our state, whether it's Riverside County or an affluent city down the freeway. In January 2018, 25,000 Chromebooks were checked out to all students in grades 3 through 12 to use 24/7. This deployment includes all races, languages, socioeconomic levels, special ed students, foster students, etc. All groups received a Chromebook for grades 3 through 12. We're also proud of our efforts to shine nationally as we participate in conferences and get nationally recognized, as our superintendent pointed out with Dell. We continue to focus continuously on our needs to improve and teach our students to be responsible digital learners. So we will be focusing on those things that President Smith just shared with you: online privacy, media, and/or online literacy, anti-bullying, and building positive online communities and digital leadership. Now, I could stand here for a lengthy amount of time and share all of the amazing projects we have underway to ensure our students are building 21st century skills, but I won't. However, I will say thank you to our board, cabinet, and community for your support and willingness to be leaders in this area of digital learning and citizenship. Thank you.
Good evening. How is everyone doing tonight? Good. It is my honor and pleasure to announce and recognize our recognitions for our students and also our staff. Principals, I'm going to ask if your school or students are called, if you could come and join us to congratulate and acknowledge their accomplishments. So we're going to start with Canyon Springs High School, and we're going to recognize James Sanchez for his contributions to the arts and community. I'm going to mention a few of his accomplishments. James is the trumpet section leader for the school marching band. He's also an usher in the hospitality ministry at St. Christopher's Church. He has been recruited by the ballet company 2 years ago and has participated in several productions, including The Nutcracker and Snow White, and group dance entitled Russian. Congratulations, James. Now we're going to recognize Vista Heights Middle School for a Global Mentoring Day Award that they were awarded. Mr. Hassan, if you could come up. And also the staff that's here from Vista Heights as I talk about you so we can clap. Yes, that is Susan Young. I know that. She is the Professional Development Specialist and International Baccalaureate Coordinator. Teachers from Vista Heights collaborated with educators from around the state in a day that's called Education for Global Economy, and it's a model program for the state of California. Vista Heights was one of 3 schools that received this award. One of 3 schools in the state. That's pretty good. This program recognizes and prepares students to live, work, and thrive in a multicultural, multilingual, and highly connected world. The award is given to the International Baccalaureate Middle Years Program with a $3,000 grant, which is going to be used to purchase digital voice recorders for the World Language Department. So I want to congratulate Vista Heights and also acknowledge once again Susan Young, Rosa Grajeda, the Spanish for Heritage Speakers teacher, Samantha Lara, the French teacher, Maria Reynoso, the Language Arts and Social Studies teacher, and acknowledge that Vista Heights offers global languages Spanish, French, and Mandarin. So congratulations, Vista Heights. Now I'm going to ask Mrs. Johnson to please come on up and assist me in recognizing some of your students, your music students that participated at the Drum Corps International. We have Valley View students, instrumental music students and graduates that participated with the Drum Corps International in Indiana in August. So we have these students, David Witter, Jr., he world-class Pacific Crest Drum Corps. How about Haley Fincher, Senior Pacific Crest Drum Corps. Jason Cornelius, Senior Santa Clara Vancourt Cadet Drum Corps. Faith Hoffman, Junior Gold Drum Corps Open Class. Alexandria White, Sophomore Gold Drum Corps. Joshua White, Senior Gold Drum Corps. Cody Ingram, Sophomore Gold Drum Corps. And Bronson Gold, Senior Gold Drum Corps. At this time, I also like to acknowledge Mr. Lauren Gamara, who's the Director of Instrumental Music at Valley View High School. I want to congratulate these students in participating. On that evening, the top 13 corps from across the nation came together for their first annual competition, and these students and their drum corps did very, very well. Hard to do. Congratulations. I now would like to acknowledge the girls, and these are girls, our middle school girls that participated in GEMS. GEMS stands for Girls Exceeding in Math with Success. These girls participated in a week-long camp at UCR, and the focus of the camp was to keep the middle school girls interested in STEAM, which is very important for all of our students, but particularly our girls, to be interested in math and engineering and science. So we're going to acknowledge them today. It took a lot of work. They were interacting with girls from other districts. They actually had professors from UCR work with them, and so we want to acknowledge their work. So when I call the students, also if their principals are here, it would be wonderful if you can help us acknowledge. So let me start with Badger Springs Middle School, and I see Mrs. Mexico here. We'd like to acknowledge Galilea Giselle Gutierrez, Jacenisi Flores, Kenya Lee. Okay, guys, I'm going to try with the names, and you can say it's okay. You didn't say it right, and you can say it. Husanatu Brima. And now we're going to go to Mountain View Middle School. We'd like to acknowledge Marissa Ramirez, Kara Swineford, Maritza Garcia. Now let's move on to Palm Middle School, Shana Ashley. And thank you, Dr. Harris, for being here. Sunnymead Middle, I saw Mr. Ochoa. Let me introduce your students. Mia White, Desaya Kirby, Dayanara Hernandez, and Kiana Wynn. This could not happen if we didn't have teachers to not only chaperone, but be with the students and coach them and teach them. So let me acknowledge Andrea Davidson from Badger Springs. You want to wave your hand? Victoria Bavier from Sunnymead Middle. And Tumna Smith from Palm Middle School. Can we have, these are our GEMS students. Congratulations. Proud of you. We want to shake your hands. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for completing it, guys. I know it's work. Thank you. Thank you again, and these are tonight's recognitions. Can we have one last applause for everyone? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We always love to recognize our students and staff who do so much to help our school district and help us to be successful. So thank you. We are now on to staff responses to public comments made at previous meetings. So Dr. Kedziro, do we have any staff responses? No. Okay. So now we are moving on to public comments on agenda items. Any person requesting to speak on any item on the agenda may do so at this time or when the item is addressed by the Board of Education. I'm emphasizing that because we have one person that wants to talk on an agenda item now and a couple of people who would like to talk on it when it actually comes up for a vote. So individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes on any agenda item. Total time for public input is 21 minutes. Twice the allotted time will be provided to a member of the public utilizing a translator. So Luis Palomares, you are the person who has asked to speak on an agenda item. Would you please come forward?
Okay, thank you. Okay, Luis Palomares, community activist. And, we're going to do an appointment that's, hey, this is what we need to do right now because why go into an election? And I agree. I'm not for appointments, but under the circumstances, like I said here last time, I think it's the right thing to do for this time in this moment. Okay, I just want to be sure that the person that's going to be appointed here is going to take care of, do the right thing for our kids. It's all about our kids. Like I said, we're not here to be served. None of us. Not a one of us in this room. We're here to serve the community and the kids. What's the best thing for them? So that's what I'm worried about. And I know a couple of people that put in for it. But as far as that, they brought it to my attention. I'm putting in for this. Even if we just got to get the right people in it, not another rubber stamper, not a person that's just going to be about pleasing the union. We got to please our students and the parents. And you know what? You're doing excellent here as far as I see so much good, but the good will take care of itself. All the stuff you're doing here, Dr. Kitsadora, great. Thank you for that. And the board. But there's a lot to be done still, and those issues should be addressed down the road, and I'm going to bring them up down the road, maybe in a different venue, in a different setting. But in the meantime, my concern is about the kids. I've always been an advocate for the kids, and we got great teachers, and I've always been an advocate for the teachers and administrators, too, because I've been out there to fight for teachers and administrators. Good administrators and good teachers. And we got plenty of them, excellent teachers in the district. But there's a few that don't belong there. We all know that. We've all seen it. We've all been there. But the ones, we got great teachers, and they're doing great things for our kids. So that's my concern. We just want the best thing for our kids here on this board here. And thank you for that.
Thank you. We will now move to public comments on non-agenda items. We encourage public comments. During this section, staff may briefly respond to statements or questions or may ask questions for clarification. The board may refer to staff or other resources for factual information, direct staff to report back at a subsequent meeting, and/or direct staff to place the topic on a future agenda. If someone wants to lodge a complaint against an employee, the appropriate form may be obtained at any school or the community education center. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for a total of 3 minutes on non-agenda items, regardless of the number of issues to be addressed by the individual. The Board of Education shall limit the total time for public input on non-agenda items to 21 minutes. Per Board Bylaw 9323, twice the allotted time will be provided to a member of the public using a translator. We also could increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. So first up on non-agenda items is Harold Acord.
Good evening, Board of Education, cabinet members, staff, students, and community. My name is Harold Acord, and I am the president of the Moreno Valley Educators Association. It was interesting to see your what if video because for a long time, the Moreno Valley Educators Association has believed that together we can, to quote one of our previous presidents, Catherine Underwood. Together, we can support public education. Nationally, there's a movement to wear red for ed on Wednesdays. We've changed that to Tuesdays here in order to not interfere with the college thing that goes on Wednesdays. So we're asking everyone to wear red for ed. We're happy to announce that Rainbow Springs was the first to get their information in with their administrators and their certificated and classified staff wearing red together and taking a picture in order to support public education in this country. We know that together we can bargain a good settlement for our salary and for our benefits, and we should do that. We know that together we can do wonderful things like the residency grant that happened. I also happen to be a past chair of the Credentials and Professional Development Committee for CTA, and I also am a liaison to the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. And together we came up with the law that was passed in order to make the residency grant that I am so excited that we did apply for and that we got as one of the districts that got that, because as chair of the Teacher Pipeline Work Group for the California Teachers Association, it is extremely important that we bring people into the hard-to-staff areas in our state for public education and for public educators, and most importantly for our students. Together, we can do things like the CalTURN Conference, the California Teachers Union Reform Network, and the people we're trying to use the word union like it's a bad thing. We work together with this district. We collaborate, and we're able to bring in teams from this entire state Thursday and Friday in order to talk about how can we work together to learn from each other and be the best that we can be for our students. We're going to have people there from the cabinet, from teams from around our entire district, along with, again, like I said, teams from our whole state. And we're excited about that because together we can. It shouldn't be what if anymore. We just need to do it. And together we can do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Number 2 on non-agenda items, we have Mrs. Palomares again.
Louise Palomares, community activist. Okay, I know it's not in your jurisdiction, but Denise Fleming, finally she's not on the campuses, thank God. This is a picture of her. She calls herself a bishop, and she's quite a big liar. As far as this picture, she's already, she's like 50 pounds thinner and 30 years older. And I'm going to say that, Dr. Kitsador, maybe you don't want to go there, but I am. Anyway, she spreads her lies and says, I came in second place. She's running for the mayor's seat. I came in second place, and I only lost by 500 votes. She lost more like 7,000 votes, thousands. So there she's already lying to the community as far as, she lies and lies and lies. So heaven help us all, because she didn't do a whole lot on this board when she was here. And I know a couple of you didn't even care for her. And, I won't say who, but I'll leave it at that. So as far as I just hope that people vote their hearts and their minds, because our mayor that's there right now, he's done a lot in the community as far as the Canyon Springs Stadium. First graduation class in 32 years. They graduated in their first stadium. Wow. And that was the mayor, part of the board, Dr. Kitsador, well, I'll say all of the board, Dr. Kitsador, building the bridge between the school district and the city council. When Gaiva was here, it was chaos. Nobody could get along with him. He's just impossible. Well, that's another one running for the mayor's seat. Can't even take care of his own district, but, I guess their head gets bigger than, well, I won't even go there. But anyway, saying all that, a lot of good things, and we know the mayor, Exen Gutierrez, is doing a lot of good things because he's an educator. He had his doctorate's degree at 28, 29 years old. He's a go-getter. That tells you a lot. So saying all that, he's done a lot of things for the students, a lot of programs he has started up for the school, the students in the schools. And I'm sure Dr. Kizanor knows about a lot of those, and I believe the board knows about all that. So he don't just care about what's going on in the city, he cares about what's going on with our students as a whole. And if this lady gets anywhere close, we're in trouble, because she's a spin doctor and a liar, and I'll say it. And there's more things I can say, but I won't even go there. I don't want to get down in the mud like she does. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3 up next is on non-agenda items, Roy Bleckert. Mr. Bleckert?
Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one. That's a quote by Malcolm Forbes. And I think we all should keep that in mind every day in all the decisions we make, and especially the decisions this board makes, our administrators make, and our teachers make. Because an open mind knows no bounds. It knows no boundaries, and it considers every option. And that's how you get the best option. That's how you get the best opportunities. That's how you get a successful outcome. Everyone should look at that. We have, and it struck me about the March Mountain student that looked over there and said, oh, those are the excellent students. But he's an excellent student too. And he learned not by the conventional school system or the conventional way, but he learned by an alternative way. And I think in this community, we need to look at that all across the board. And we need to explore and not turn down every opportunity we have to bring educational systems in that are going to reach every student. Sometimes I think we lose that focus. And we do it to the detriment. And if it's done to the detriment of one kid, this community suffers. And we shouldn't do that. So it goes back. You hear the word diversity thrown around a lot. You know, there's 7 billion people on this planet. And each one of them is different. I mean, how much more diverse can you get? We should all look at people as individuals and pull on our strengths and encourage those that are maybe not as fortunate as us, or help them pull themselves up. That's how we'll all not only make a better community, a better country, but a better world. So in each and every decision, especially as this board makes, I hope you consider it very carefully, because it can have far-reaching effects. You don't know what the decision you make today might be the next one that turns this world around, or is the next high technology piece that nobody's ever thought about. So when you consider everything, always keep that in mind. Always keep an open mind, consider all perspectives, and put every perspective out there, because that's how you will get the best decision in the final run.
Thank you. I think we've heard some comments tonight that many of us on the board and cabinet would agree with. Thank you. Next up, we do have 2 more people that have filled out speaker slips. However, they asked to speak at the time that we consider item H1A. So those 2 people will be speaking a little bit later. So if you put that you want to speak at the time that item is presented, I put your slips to the side until we come to that item. Just in case you're wondering if we're skipping you, we're not skipping you. Would you like to speak now, or do you want to go ahead and hold it until we get to page 83, H1A? Is there anybody, who do we have? Christopher Melendrez and Ashley Rivera. Do you want to wait and speak then? We'll wait. Okay, great. Okay, so next up we have the consent agenda. All matters in this category are considered to be consistent with the board district goals. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is required, items may be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. I don't think that we have had any items that we've removed and moved forward, so we're doing the whole consent agenda at one time.
Madam President, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh, that we approve the consent agenda. Call for a vote.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Thank you. Now we move through about 50 of those 83 pages and go to action items. Page 78, superintendent action items. Could you please explain this first item to us, Dr. Kedziora?
This is something you're required to do, is that we were required to develop a Riverside County Operation Area Multi-Jurisdictional Local Hazard Mitigation Plan to meet the requirements of the Disaster Mitigation and Cost Reduction Act of 2000. And so the Board of Education, you received this in your Friday information, and so you have a copy of the plan. And this is this plan has already been approved on behalf of the county and all other adopting jurisdictions, and now it's your final approval to approve the plan and move forward, that we have this plan in place.
All right, it has a long title, but it sounds like it's something we're required to do. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Baugh,
No, second.
seconded by Mr. Johnson. Call for a vote.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Moving to page 81, Educational Services Action Item. These are student discipline cases. We talked about these in closed session, as we always do with student discipline cases. So we need a motion to approve the actions on these. Okay, moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Holguin to approve the actions on student disciplinary cases as presented. Call for a vote.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Thank you. For those who thought you would be waiting a long time, we are now moving to page 83, the interview order of the board candidates. Did you want to say anything about this, Dr. Kedziora, before I ask for these two speakers? Okay, Christopher Melendrez, let's have you up first.
Hi, good evening, respected President, Superintendent, and cabinets and community members. My name is Christopher Melendrez, and I'm advocating for Elise Rivera. She's a candidate for the Board of Members and Trustee 5 in District 5. I'm a local business owner, and I'm involved a lot with the different community events. I try to attend as much as I can. I have kids, that just started kindergarten, so if I'm going to be in the city, might as well get involved with as much as I can. And actually, at many of these different events, I met Asley, and I right away met her at different events and felt very comfortable with her. I felt like she actually cared as much about the community as I did, and which I thought was great, because you really don't see a lot of people that are really passionate about the community, especially about Moreno Valley. They either want to get out or go somewhere different. But I mean, in my case, I was like, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to enjoy where I'm at. I've seen a lot of different things Dr. Martin does for the community. I'm very happy with what he is, and as a person, he's always been very respectful. And Asley is somebody else that I feel like she would definitely make a good part on the board as trustee number 5. And this is why I want to advocate for her and for who she is. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, next up we have Asley Rivera.
Good evening. Good evening, President Susan Smith, Dr. Kidsenora. I'm Asley Rivera, and I'm actually here on behalf of myself, and I wanted to introduce myself to the board and to the public, and I thank every single one of you that are out here and listening and sat through the meeting. Well, so we're not strangers. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I actually went to Rainbow Springs preschool, and then Butterfield Elementary, Mountain View Middle School, and Valley View High School. So I've been through the Moreno Valley Unified School District. And I'm proud to say that I am a product of this board and the past, because I have clearly been evolved through the community. I've been involved so much through public events. El Grito was one of the most recent ones, and I'm proud to be a product of this community. I'm honored to be expressing the privilege that I get to be a candidate here. I understand that there's many of us, and I know that you guys will do the best and will choose what is best for our community. Right now, I see a lot of beautiful work that you guys have done, from programs to one of my personal favorite is actually the Chromebooks that you guys provide for the 3rd to 12th graders, and that will essentially be the catalyst for our next era. So our technology age has just gotten here, and we're a part of it, and we're forever evolving through it. And since we get the privilege to be a hand in the generational influence, that we get to impact all of these students and for generations to come. And I'm personally very grateful, and it's a privilege to be out here being ready to represent one of you, or all of you and the students, because our future is right before us, and if we don't act now, that's it, you know. So I would like for you guys to consider the best candidate possible, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. We have 10 people that have applied to be appointed to Trustee Area 5. It's hard for me to believe we have this many people that have applied.
Madam President,
Yes.
can I mention one point, just for clarification and for the public's clarification, I guess. The agenda shows only 8 names.
Yes, Dr. Kedziora, the agenda shows 8 names, yet we have 10. Did 2 people get their slips in, their information in after this was printed?
Yes, ma'am. So it was, we had to certify this by the Register of Voters, and so when the agenda was printed, this was who had qualified, and so then we got the rest of the other 2 after the agenda was printed on Friday.
Yes, I think the deadline was Friday, but it could be postmarked Friday, which meant maybe the school district didn't receive it until Monday, because you mailed it late Friday and it was postmarked and then came in Monday after the weekend.
That wasn't the case in these instances, but that's true. That could have happened. But again, we had to print the agenda, and we were waiting on confirmation that we have to wait to make sure they live in Trustee Area 5 and that they are registered to vote in that area. So that's what we're waiting on confirmation of, and that was the situation in both of these cases.
Okay, but we do have 10 candidates.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to make sure the public knew what the difference between what is listed on the agenda and what it is.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
What are the 2 names?
The 2 additional names that are not listed here are Patricia Sanchez, and we just heard from Ashley Rivera. So those are the 2 additional names that are not listed on this sheet. We also have listed here with us Louis Montez, Darrell Peden, Gregory Reed, Ruth Goldkorn, Margaret Park Robinson, George Scholes, Roy Bleckert, and David Clark. So those are the 8 we already had listed, and then those additional 2 that we have added. So what we're going to do now is not to draw out who will be the candidate, but what we're going to do is have a drawing for the order in which you will be interviewed next Tuesday. We will interview all of these people next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, but we can only do one at a time. So we're going to have a little drawing. I don't know whether you want to go first or last. Some people think it's best to be first. Some people think it's best to be last. Some people just, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is to draw them out of this little basket. I'm going to hold up the basket, and Mr. Holguin will draw them out. You didn't bend the corner of one of them, did you? No, I did not. Okay.
I did, though. No,
All absolutely fair, so...
people can see it?
Oh, you want me to put it up here? I'll hold it up in the air,
You hold it up in the
so you
air,
can
okay.
reach it.
So this is the number one?
This will be number 1, and I think they're ready to put them up on the screen. Okay?
Number one is
Gregory
Reed.
Gregory Reed will be number 1. So are you putting a 1 by his name? Okay. Number 2, coming right up. This is just so exciting. It's like watching Wheel of Fortune. Number 2, David Clark. Come on down. Oh, that's a different show. David Clark will be number 2.
Number 2.
Number 3.
Hold it up higher.
Oh, he wants everybody to see that he's being fair.
I'm not playing games here.
Okay. Patricia Sanchez. Patricia Sanchez will be number 3. High enough, high enough. Margaret Park Robinson will be number 4. Ashley Rivera will be number 5. Luis Montez will be number 6. Number 6, Mr. Montez. Number 7, George Scholes. George Scholes will be number 7. Number 8, Ruth Goldcorn will be number 8. Mrs. Goldcorn, number 8. Number 9, coming up. Daryl Peden will be number 9. Daryl Peden, number 9. I see some people are marking their scorecards in the audience, so thank you. Number 9. And number 10, Roy Bleckert, bringing up the end. Mr. Bleckert. 10. All right. Thank you. And did you get that, Claudia? So everything is set? Okay. So that concludes our drawing of names. We will do nothing else on the selection of the new board member tonight. Our next meeting will be next Tuesday, and we will continue with this next Tuesday and with interviews, and you will be interviewed in the order that your names were drawn out tonight. So thank you. Yes, Dr. Kadziora.
Claudia Harrigy, who's the administrative assistant to the Board of Education, will be contacting each of these candidates and telling them additional information about that evening. And she'll go into more detail with them as she contacts each of them.
I think it also should be said that at the conclusion of the interviews, one will be chosen.
That's right.
Yes, we will not only interview, we will also select.
At the
We
end
will
of,
interview, then we will have a board discussion, and then we will make the selection.
and it's all completed in public here.
Yes, it will all be in public, so if anybody would like to see those interviews, feel free to come to the board meeting next week. We'll start at 5. I don't know when we'll end. We'll end after we've interviewed, discussed, and made a selection, and then they will be sworn in at the following meeting? At the following board meeting. So you won't be sworn in next time, but you will be selected. Okay. Moving to page 84, we have several business services discussion action items. These are all, I think, regulations. So let's start with the first one, the federal grant funds. Mrs. Dagnall, could you please discuss this for us or tell us about it?
Yeah, this is a new administrative regulation for us, bringing us in compliance to align our policies to the California School Boards Association's recommendations. This is getting our policy up to date, complying with the uniform administrative requirements, cost principles, and audit requirements for federal awards. Basically, any federally funded program must comply with various regulations, including procurement, allowable cost, audits, and then other requirements. So this is the first reading for this new administrative regulation.
Thank you. Because this is the first reading, there is no vote. We always have a second reading before we vote on things. So this was the first reading. We are now moving to H2B, integrated pest management. Mrs. Dagnall again?
Yes, this is the first reading for a revised administrative regulation 3514-2 or .2 for integrated pest management. This again just gets us into compliance with new state regulations regarding having an integrated pest management plan. It discusses the requirements for having a integrated pest management strategy, using the least toxic pest management practices, notifications, warning signs, all of those posting requirements, which we do currently do. We've been in compliance.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I noticed they list in the paper restaurants that have been closed because of pest problems. So, yeah, I hope we're on top of that. That was, again, a first reading. Now we're moving to number 3, Food Service Operations Cafeteria Fund. Again, Mrs. Dagnall?
Yes, this is both updating board policy and administrative regulations 3551 for food services. There's several new laws, SB 250, SB 730, AB 22, and SB 544, which this policy is then getting updated to incorporate. One of the main ones is SB 250, and that's the no shaming policy, ensuring that students with unpaid meals fees are not shamed or treated any differently than any other students. It includes the provision for Buying American provision, and it also clarifies procurement standards for federal programs. In addition, this is the new law, SB 557, which allows us the authorization to donate unopened and unused food to local food banks, which we currently are doing. We each site has bins that they collect the unused and unopened foods, and they get collected and distributed to both the Salvation Army and St. Christopher's Church. And that's been happening since about last April.
Thank you. Again, this is a first reading. I'm glad we're able to donate some unused food to needy people. Thank you. So moving to H2D, this is free and reduced price meals.
I have a question on the last one.
Oh, I'm
Do you not give the money to the community assistance program? Are there any?
Do you donate food to the CAP program?
Not at this point. I mean, unless it goes through the Salvation Army, but not the CAP program. And we're working with another agency to get more agencies on board. So that's one we could look at specifically.
Yeah, they are very interested in helping out, and they're always looking for donations of canned goods and so forth and so on.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are now on to 110 H2D, free and reduced price meals. Tina, could you, Mrs. Dagnall, could you tell us about this too?
So this is again our first reading for updated board policy and administrative regulation 3553 for free and reduced price meals. This is a new law requiring districts to apply for a federal universal meal service, and this updates the board policy for the community eligibility provision, which we now are part of.
Okay, so this is the all students in elementary and middle school get free lunch?
Mm-hmm. That's included in the board policy,
That's
yes.
part of that. Okay, great. Okay, none of those were voting items. I guess we will see those again to vote on them. Now we're moving to page 121, Human Resources H3. Dr. Verde, can you tell us about these? I think these are both changes for things that we voted on before.
That's correct, Mrs. Smith. The next two items are amendments to update previous actions taken by the board. This first one was from the September 12th meeting, and the next one, H3B, is from the 26th. On this first one, we're asking the board to help us make this correction with this amendment. The position for this one should have read 5 8-hour campus security officer 1 positions rather than 6.
Okay. So, thank you. Can I have a motion on this?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Johnson to approve the amended resolution 2018-19-08 as presented. Call for a vote.
Mr. Ball.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
The next one,
moving to
Mrs.
the
Smith,
next
is
one.
for instructional assistance. And again, the same idea with this particular one. This amendment, it should have read 3.5-hour instructional assistant position rather than 3-hour.
Okay, and that is H3B. Can I have a motion for H3B?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Ba to approve amended resolution 2018-19-15 as presented. Call for a vote.
Mr. Ball.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. All right, thank you. We are now on I, page 125, first quarter report on Williams uniform complaints. Mrs. Maddox, do you have something to say about this?
The Williams Act legislation requires the district to report any complaints received to the Board of Education on a quarterly basis. For the first quarter, which is from July to September 2018, no complaints were received at the district or any school site.
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that no complaints were received by the district or any school site. For the Williams, for no Williams complaints. There may have been complaints in other areas, but no Williams complaints. Thank you. Let's move to the last page. J, comments from board members and superintendent. Mr. Ba, you're up first.
It was a joy to go to the Valley View ribbon cutting for their new stadium. And it is bright and it looks great. And the kids enjoyed it. It was wonderful to be there and also to attend the football game. They led throughout most of the night, and then at the last minute they fell behind by 4 points. But I'm really glad that we have fixed up that field, and I think it will help them to be even more successful. We also attended the top-off ceremony at the Riverside University Health Center, the new building they're building. And that's going to be a boon to this community and to our students who will be able to serve as interns and get service hours as they contribute to the community. They also have the old Vistera Credit Union on Graham and Cottonwood. They've now converted to a medical center for a community medical center so that people can come there to get treatment. It's just a wonderful thing to be able to have a facility over there that close. Again, that will help us to have positions for kids to work as interns and as part-time employment. And then the last thing I wanted to make a comment on is the young man from March Valley. His comments were really good, but one of the things that stuck out in my mind was he said that there are only 24 in a class. When we think about class size, I would like us to be able to lower class size. I know there's a cost for that. And so as you have in negotiations, you might think about that. where we could lower class sizes. That's my thought. Nothing else. Thank you.
Since our last meeting, we visited several different places. The first one that I have on my list is Dr. Ketchior and my colleague Jesus Ogin and myself was in Las Vegas, and we went to a CUBE conference, Council of Urban Boards of Education. In short, it was predominantly African American school board members there and superintendents. Make you laugh if somebody feel like it. You know, when we first got to the hotel, the three of us, Dr. Kisser, he's laughing already. You know, we walked in the lobby and I saw all of these black people. So I know how some of you people may feel, you know, when you see a group like that, because that's what I felt like. And I said out loud, man, look at all these black people. Dr. Ketchior said, well, what do you expect? This is African Americans here. So, you're supposed to laugh at that. Well, well, I have to fix it up, you know. But in other words, you would think that I would have known that. But anyway, here's the good news. The good news about that was we learned a lot, and we think that we imparted a lot of great information to the group of people that heard some of the things that we had to say that we think we're doing real good here in Moreno Valley. Think about this. They wouldn't have asked the four of us, Dr. Ketchior, Jesus, and Lisa Bloomfield, they wouldn't have asked us to be on a panel talking to a room full of people and sharing some ideas to make their district even better than what they have currently, if we didn't have anything good to say. So when I hear folks saying that you're not doing this, you ought to be doing that, and so forth and so on, well, we know that there's a lot more that we could be doing to even be better than we are today, and we are working. But just know we're very we're very aware of that, and we do pause every now and then to pat ourselves on our backs for the accomplishments. Because if you take a look at the graduation rates 8 years ago for African American students, since we're talking about going to that conference there, and take a look at it today, you got to be dumb, blind, and crazy not to see the huge jump in the rate. But anyway, so we had a pretty good time doing that, and several people, once the presentations were over, came up to all four of us and asked us questions about how could they get more involved in their own districts, and how can they influence their superintendent and their boards, their colleagues, should I say, on how they could implement some of the things that we're doing here. So we felt pretty good about that. We felt really honored that they would ask us the questions that they did, you know, once we got done with the presentations. We also attended another one in, what was it, San Diego? What was it? Del Mar, yes, Del Mar. Now, that one, our dear friend right here, Mr. Jesus Hogin, I don't know how many guys out in the audience know this, but, you know, he sits on this board, but over there, he was like a king. He stayed on the stage. In other words, his group that he's involved with, he must be the president, I'm not sure, but all I know is he didn't invite me on the stage. I didn't particularly like that, and so I'm saying in public, you know, he let me sit on it. But he did acknowledge me, though. He did acknowledge me. I have to say that.
That's why he did that.
He did acknowledge me. But here's the bottom. We're joking around, really. But here's the bottom line is, at that group, it was predominantly Hispanics. So, you know, we've got the African American ones, we've got the Hispanics one that we just did in Del Mar. But he and the staff, or he and his group, they did an excellent job. And I was so proud that one of our very own had a lot to do with the accomplishments. They gave out awards. They had some guest speakers there. As far as I'm concerned, they had the next state superintendent there who spoke. His opponent didn't want to show up. I don't know why he didn't give us an excuse, but I kind of took it personal that he didn't show up for that. And I think that he should have, but although maybe there was a schedule problem, and that's why he didn't show. But we did hear the one guy. And then the other thing is, too, you know, some people talk about what we ought to be doing in Moreno Valley Unified School District. But think about this. At this this meeting that we had one of our students. How old is the young man? The young boy that's saying?
9 years old.
Nine. We had a 9-year-old youngster from Moreno Valley School District who sang, wooed the crowd. They would not let him sit. Him being a little kid, you know, he wanted to get off and go back and play or eat, but he came back and did an encore, and he sang for us, I think, 2 days. My point in bringing that up is when you see young folks like that and you see how talented they are, you have to stop and think about the wonderful teachers and educators that we have here in this district, as well as his parents, because they take a lot of credit in what the young kid did as well. But you have to take a look at the teachers who helped him to get to the point where he is. I thought that was going to be it. But Mr. Hogan, I'm giving him credit right now, he brought out, I didn't even know we had this. He brought out an ensemble. Was it four boys? What school was that from?
Vista del Lago High School.
4 boys from Vista del Lago High School. They were like a jazz band. Those boys, when they got done playing their 3 or 4 numbers, they packed up and was ready to go. And somebody said, you can't leave right now. They had to take their instruments out of the cases, get back on the stage, and play more that they didn't plan on doing just for the crowd that was there. So believe me, Moreno Valley Unified School District was well represented. I was very proud to see our students there on that stage and people from other school districts in awe of their talents and what's happening here, and the teachers teaching them and preparing them. Because at Vista del Lago, I've seen the band, and I'm kind of impressed with that, but those 4 boys, they really impressed all of us. So, Mr. Hogan, you guys did a wonderful job, even though you worked without me, you know, a little bit, but you did a great job putting that whole thing together. And then I'm not. He's going to say more about it, I'm sure. So I'm going to close. I have a quote here concerning teachers because, you know, I've already talked about how instrumental they were with our kids, those 4 boys and that one young man. It says, every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. And that's what we're doing here at Moreno Valley Unified, and that's by Rita Pearson.
Thank you for making all those comments, Mr. Johnson, about the Unity Conference. That was the Unity Conference.
I took all your thunder.
Yeah, you stole everything I was going to say, but that's okay. I was going to say a couple of notes on Dr. Katsura mentioned and Mr. Johnson mentioned the CUBE conference, remind me again, CUBE, Council of Urban Boards of Education. But the one thing to note here is that this is under the National School Boards Association. And the conference was in Las Vegas, in Nevada, and there were members, school board members from all over the country. So people from different states were able to listen to the presentation by us, and they were impressed, like it was already mentioned. But the other piece that I was really happy, the chair of the CUBE conference when he came out to the stage for the first time, he he welcomed everybody to attending the conference, about 500 board members from all over the country. And one of the first things he said, I want to welcome my friends from California, especially my friends from Moreno Valley. And that was a huge thing for us because, again, 500 people from all over the country, and we were recognized right there, besides the presentation and those people that attended and asked questions and all that. The theme of the conference was, I should say, it was an equity symposium, and they were talking about all those issues with equity that many school districts all over the country are going through, and how they're solving them and how they are facing all those challenges. So that was a great conference, and again, I think we were well represented. And then I also want to mention during the Unity Conference in Del Mar that Mr. Johnson mentioned, the way he felt when we walked in that room in Las Vegas, that's the way I felt when I walked in that room in Del Mar. Because they were all African American, these were all Hispanic or mostly Latinos. And it was a great conference. I'm not the president, I'm the treasurer of the association, so I have a lot to do with the organization and all that. But I was pleased that we were able to highlight some of the work of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. I have to say, we also had a presentation about the success of the English learners students here in the district. Marta Cepeda Medina and I presented there and gave an overview of how the programs are working here and how the students are succeeding. And also on stage, in front of everybody in attendance, we were able to highlight some of the arts that are taking place here. We had the jazz band from Moreno Valley High School performing at the reception, the opening reception. We had the students from Vista del Lago High School Sunday in the closing session. We also had Pedrito Fregoso singing the national anthem twice, plus other songs. And the one thing that I'm very proud of is that each of them, the Moreno Valley High School, the students from Vista del Lago, Pedrito, each one of them got a check for $500 as a scholarship for their participation. We also had a former student from Valley View High School that was one of the speakers in one of the general sessions. Martin Martinez, you would remember Martin Martinez, he was here at the last meeting, and we invited him because we thought that his story was very, very important for many people to hear. So he spoke twice during the conference. He presented his story to school board members first, and then on Saturday he presented his story to 100 students only. So the students got to hear and talk to him briefly. But when one of the sponsors of the conference heard him speaking, and I was ready to give him a check for $500, just like everybody else, and one of the sponsors said, no, he deserves a check for $3,500 because he's going through a master's program and he's going to have a lot of expenses. His story is very convincing for us, the sponsors, to give him $3,500 as scholarship so he can continue. So that was a great moment. Yes, you can clap for that. That was great. So, I mentioned that Marta Cepeda Medina and I presented at the Unity Conference, and I have to say that I wish I could have had more representation from Moreno Valley, but at the same time, I have to say there are other events happening at the same time, and we are being represented all over the place at the same time sometimes. Like we were there in Del Mar, we had a representation at the Haku Conference. Maribel Maddox and Lily Villa were at the Haku Conference. Dr. Quezera was representing at another event somewhere else. National Educators Association in Washington, D.C. So we had representation all over the country at that particular moment. That's something that we need to be proud, because all over the place we are telling people what is happening in Moreno Valley, and that is important, very important. So I'm thankful that we have those opportunities, and I hope that we can appreciate all those opportunities that we have to go out there and express, how proud we are of our district. Now, coming back to the local level, I was able to visit three schools during their activities leading up to the college and career days, college week, college and career kickoff day and week. I was at Vista Heights Middle School, I was at Northridge Elementary School, and today I was at Sunny Middle School, where they had activities to welcome students into the school and make them feel that they need to get ready to go to college. Today, in fact, I was wearing a graduation robe, along with some of the staff, the principal, and some of the teachers there, and it was a great feeling to welcome the students and get that energy going. Vista Heights did an excellent job. They had the band playing, they had a red carpet, they had all kinds of balloons and signs, and those kids were feeling really energized there. And Northridge Elementary School, never too early to start thinking about college. The students were writing in a piece of paper which college they're going to go, what they want to be when they grow up. So that was a great exercise too. In the middle of all that, of course, we attended the Vista Valley View High School ribbon cutting ceremony, which was a great ceremony. We had to run to the other school from there, but it was good to be there. So last two things I want to mention, and this is related back to the arts, education. Next week, next Monday, I will be traveling to San Jose, California, for the Create California Arts Convening. Create California is the statewide organization with representatives from different areas of arts, from different areas of the state, and I'm the chair of that organization. And we have this convening to talk about how do we motivate more schools, more districts to get into giving access to arts education, equitable arts education to all students in the state. So we have this convening. It's a 2-day event. I will be there only for the first day, and I will be opening the event. But I mentioned this because the important piece of this is that some part of that convening is going to be, again, highlighting the work of visual and performing arts in Moreno Valley Unified School District. Mr. Solomon is going to be there. He's going to do a presentation, but they're going to talk about how is it that Moreno Valley has grown so fast, so much in the last couple of years in the visual and performing arts education. So that's a great thing. Again, this is in San Jose. We're going to have people from all over the state attending this convening, and so that's going to be the highlight there. And the last thing that I want to mention is still related to the arts. In March of next year, 2019, we're going to do something similar, smaller scale, 1-day event in Palm Springs at the Museum of Palm Springs. And this is going to be called the Community Arts Now. And it's going to be for people within the Riverside County school districts. And one more time, they're going to highlight the work of the Moreno Valley Unified School District there. That's going to be the center of attention at that moment and motivates districts in Riverside County to expand the arts programs in all the school districts, and the county office is involved with this, along with California Alliance for Arts Education, CREATE, and the Museum of Palm Springs. So a lot of great things happening. You're going to get more information on those events, but very proud of what is happening here. Oh, last thing I want to say is thank you to all those people that are interested on filling that position on the board. It's going to be great to hear from all of them, all of you, and looking forward to that. And I'm positive that we're going to select the right person for the position so that we can continue the great work that is happening in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. I also, of course, we all attended the ribbon cutting at Valley View High School. It was so exciting to be there. The students were all there in the stands. We were up front. Many community members and community leaders were there from the Chamber of Commerce, from the City Council. It was there was a lot of energy there, and it was exciting to be there and to see how excited the students were to see that new field and to be ready to use that in the future for all of their events. It's huge. I go to these fields. I went to Canyon Springs. That field seems huge too. It seems much bigger than the football field I went to when I was in high school. But maybe my high school has a big field too now. I should go back and look. So they have, what did they say, 8 lanes? 8 lanes on the track. And the track goes around the field. So 8 lanes on the track, 78,438 square feet of artificial turf. And they predict saving 10,500,000 gallons of water a year by not having to water that. So although it costs some money to put it in, we will see some water savings in the future, plus having a much nicer facility for our students. So thank you to everyone who came and participated in that. It was just exciting to be there. I was also excited to see how much our CASP scores have risen over the last year. I was especially excited about those schools that have had a 5% positive change in English language arts and schools with 5% positive change in math, including many of the schools in the area that I represent went up. Towngate went up 16%. Edgemont went up 5%. So actually, Towngate went up 16% in English language arts and 10% in math. So Creekside up 7% in math and 6% in language arts. So it was great to see these terrific scores coming in for our school district and for our students. It just shows how hard our teachers are working with their students to make these positive improvements. I was also impressed with the young man from March Mountain High School that spoke. He was just terrific. Did you see how he was dressed up, professional looking? He could have been here for a job interview and he would have fit right in. And to think that he might have, had things been differently, not completed high school. We don't want to see any of our students not complete high school. That's why our graduation rates have gone up so much, because you're really not allowed to drop out here in Moreno Valley. We go get you and bring you back and find a program where you will fit in and feel comfortable and will have the class and the teachers that you need and the guidance that you need to complete high school and get ready for a college or career. So thank you to all of you, teachers and staff members who are helping these students to be successful. It was just great to see. I also would love to see our class sizes reduced to 24 students in a class. I don't know of anyone who would not have that goal. We like to see our students get as much one-on-one and hands-on attention from teachers as they can. And the smaller the class is, as a former teacher, I know that I went through a time when I had 32 students in a class, and then our class sizes in second grade were reduced to 18. What a difference it made. And I think anybody that went through that period of time when our class sizes were less can tell you that that made a real impact on the amount of time that you had to spend as a teacher with each student and the positive impact that that had on the education of those students. I keep thinking there's something else I was going to say, but I'd like to say thank you for coming tonight. Good night. It was great to see you here. And at that,
Madam President, can I make one?
Yes, you can make
comment?
another comment.
I just want to make a comment about the message. Thank you. About the message that the president of the Educators Association made. And I truly appreciate your words about working together. Together we can get a lot done. Together we can accomplish a lot. And the collaboration, the communication, the continued support towards each other, I think is critical in this work. These results would not be possible without that collaboration, that communication. So I appreciate that message, and I think we're all committed to continue the collaboration and communication. We have to, because it's a reflection. The reflection of what we do here is on the success of the students. So we will continue that. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
All right. And with that, I'll turn the time over to Dr. Kedziora for final comments.
I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible because I know that Mr. Ball's looking at me like, get on with it. But I want you to know that Mr. Johnson, when he went to this conference, I want y'all to hear the correct version because when he walked in, he said, "Am I at the right conference?" Like he couldn't believe he was there with all his brothers and sisters. And I said, "Yeah, you're at the right conference." And, I didn't say like they were all going to be. I didn't say that. So then I wanted you to know I de-emphasized that we were in Las Vegas because of the feelings you might have had about that. But Mr. Holguin, always a fiscal analyst, had us all drive back with him. We rode in a car back together, all three of us. 3 of your friends together, 4 hours together, driving across the terrain of Southern California and Nevada.
You can imagine how that was.
Yeah, it was amazing. And all the things they wanted,
Don't ask why I didn't go.
all the things they wanted to have done and taken care of and everything, it's amazing. And they said, Dr. Kidzur, I was in the back seat. Are you listening? Oh, yeah, I'm listening. I'm writing it all down. And then while I was there, they didn't mention this, but I was really proud that we did such a great job that people offered, they were saying, if you ever get unhappy in Moreno Valley, we have jobs in different parts of the country. And so they didn't mention that, but
we never left them alone.
yeah. So
Don't we have a 4-year contract with you?
yeah, you do. I'm just saying that's what happened. I'm just telling you some of the highlights. But what I really want to say is Maribel Escobar, you're out there, and thank you for being here. You sat through this whole evening. But one of the things, there's different people that sit out there every week. And Maribel, we've had a lot of problems, lately, board with getting substitutes. We have a lot of people that call in sick. And she's personally responded to schools and gone out there and tried to resolve things in the schools. Because it's hard to get campus supervisor subs. It's hard to get teacher subs. And I want to thank you for that because, we've had a lot of challenges. And you have worked with Dr. Verdi, and you've worked on that to be responsive to the schools. Jim Burleson, he's here as Director of Transportation. And, Board, I don't know if you know, but there was a student with special needs. You probably don't know this. That Ron Vacker, who's the special education teacher at Valley View High School, contacted me and wanted this young man that has lots of physical challenges that can only be transported by a special bus to the football game. But what I was so surprised about and so touched by was you went to the football game and made sure that he got picked up and transported. I mean, can you believe that? He didn't just send a bus. He made sure that he met the student and the teacher, and that was you, right, that did that, right? So here was this special needs student that would have not gone to this football game, but they wanted him to be there because they knew that he couldn't get there any other way. Aren't y'all impressed with that?
Dr. Kitzera, I'm very impressed. He was at a very good district, but he wanted to be a member here at Moreno Valley. That's why he's here today. So
I
we're very
know,
proud of
and
him.
I'm telling y'all, that goes above and beyond what people do. And
I sat next to him.
You did?
I saw him up there. I just want to get a little credit here.
well, I'm proud of you, Mr. Ball, for sitting by him. Thank you.
And next to me was Dr. Verdi.
Oh, I'm proud of him for sitting by you because usually he don't sit with us. He's
We
out there
sat
on the
with
field.
We sat with the kids.
Yeah. I'm proud of y'all for being together and showing that unity. That's good. But I also want to thank Mrs. Tate, who's out there. She's a teacher at Palm Middle School. She's been here all night. She taught all day, and they're trying to get their schools to watch application done there so they can be a national schools to watch, the next one in Moreno Valley. But she's a big reason why that school is so successful. So Ms. Tate, thank you for being here tonight and supporting our district and our children. And then Teresa Bagage, I know you're back there. She's a biology teacher at Valley View High School. Now they're dressed in red, but I want you to know that Teresa Bagage, she's, if you've ever been in her biology class and what she does with kids, it's amazing. But I want you to know y'all sat through this whole board meeting, and we do notice that, so thank you. And then I want to thank Chris Weddle because he just had a baby, you know, he and his wife. And how's that baby now? About 6 months? 4. I thought I was older. But anyway, he spent the whole weekend with the baby and the wife at Del Mar, helping, you know, with our district. But because of people like him and other people, the California Latino School Boards Association is going to donate, because of all the positive energy from Moreno Valley, $1,000 to our Student of the Month program and $1,000 to our Optimist program for jackets for students. And so I can't wait to get those checks, Mr. Holguin, and give those organizations, because of all these people that did all these things this weekend in Del Mar, and we're excited to get that you know, sponsorship at that level. Isn't that right? Yeah, he's over there, you know. And then
he's the treasurer, right?
Right. And then there were some parent ambassadors here that were here tonight, and they left already. But I want to thank them. We have a meeting in the morning at 9 o'clock. But the parent ambassadors are a huge asset to our district and support us in so many ways. And they left already, but I just want them to know how much that means to us. And then I wanted to thank the Rotary Club of Moreno Valley. Today I presented there on Moreno Valley Unified School District. And I want the board to know they are so impressed with all the programs that we have here. The horse pool said to thank y'all because every time I get to present about our school district, people are always just so impressed and so inspired by what happens here. And we're very fortunate to get to work in a district where we care so much about children and we do so much to make their lives better, and evidenced by the many things that we've talked about tonight. So thank you very much for a great board meeting and a wonderful week we're looking forward to. And we look forward to our 33,000 children coming all to school tomorrow. Thank you.
I think we also probably ought to mention that the new board member who put in for my position has been here every meeting for the last 2 months, and it's Marcia Locke, and we are grateful for her to come, and she'll be up to speed when she starts in December.
Who is she? What is she?
Yeah, she's now gone.
She left.
She already left.
Yeah.
She was out there, Mr. Johnson. I'll point her out to you next time. I know you want to meet her.
Yeah, I want to meet her, yeah.
Thank you. And with all of those comments, thank you so much for coming. The meeting is adjourned at 9:22.